The NHIndustries NH90 is a medium-sized, twin-engine, multi-role military helicopter. It was developed and is manufactured by NHIndustries, which is wholly owned by Airbus Helicopters, AgustaWestland and Fokker Aerostructures. There are two main variants, the tactical transport helicopter for Army use and the naval NATO Frigate Helicopter, but each have several subtypes with different weapons, sensors and cabins. The NH90 was developed in response to NATO requirements for a battlefield helicopter that was also capable of being operated in the naval environment. The first prototype had its maiden flight in December 1995. The type began entering service in 2007. As of 2013, a total of 30 nations have ordered the NH90 with deliveries starting in 2006. Design and development, origins. In 1985, France, West Germany, Italy, the Netherlands, and the United Kingdom teamed to develop a NATO battlefield transport and anti-ship anti-submarine helicopter for the 1990s. The United Kingdom left the team in 1987. On September 1, 1992, NHIndustries signed an NH90 design and development contract with NHIMA. This agency represented the four participating nations, France, Germany, Italy, and the Netherlands. Portugal later joined the agency in June 2001. Design work on the helicopter started in 1993. The first prototype, PT-1, made the type's first flight on December 18, 1995. The second prototype, PT-2, first flew on March 19, 1997 and the third prototype, PT-3, on November 27, 1998. The NH90 was developed into two main variants, the tactical transport helicopter and the NATO Frigate Helicopter. However, many of the customer countries have requested specific changes for their NH90s. The program experienced both technical and funding problems during the 1990s. In June 2000, the partner nations placed a large production order for a total of 366 helicopters. Additional orders followed from customers in Europe, Asia, and Australia. Production. The NH90 was initially intended to be produced at 3 exporting assembly lines. Cassina Costa in Italy for AgustaWestland, Marignan in France and Denora Paragraph RTH in Germany for Airbus Helicopters. The Nordic and Australian contracts stipulated production locally. Spain has a final assembly line at Albast. The program ran into a 2-year production delay, and the first NH90s were delivered by late 2006. The type certification for the Finnish helicopters was finally approved on February 19, 2008. Major components are produced by each of the shareholding companies, Airbus Helicopters France 31.25%, Airbus Helicopters Deutschland 31.25%, Fokker 5.5%, AgustaWestland 32%. Items built by the shareholding companies are then distributed to the 6 locations for assembly and flight test. The first NH90s were delivered by late 2006 to the German Army. These were followed by Italian and Finnish helicopters in 2007. Later during 2007, the Italian and French navies started to receive their NFH versions and the first Swedish NH90s were also delivered. On December 18, 2007 the first 2 MRH-90 aircraft were delivered to the Australian Defence Force. The Royal Netherlands Navy got its first NH-90 NFH in April 2010. Norway started to receive their NH-90s in November 2011. New Zealand received its first 2 NH-90s in December 2011. The French Army took delivery of its first NH-90 TTH in December 2011. On December 21, 2012, the Belgian Armed Forces received the first helicopter, from an order of 8. In the same ceremony the French Navy received their first NH-90 NFH in final operating capability. Concerns over performance. In 2010, German newspaper Bild reported that German Army experts had concerns that the helicopter was not yet ready for the transportation of combat troops. They stated that the troops' seats were only rated for 110 kg, which is not considered enough for a fully equipped modern soldier. Heavier infantry weapons could not be adequately secured during transport. The cabin floor was prone to damage, citing an anecdote of damage being caused by dirty combat boots. The helicopter could only land on firm ground, with obstacles not exceeding 16 cm. Troops carrying full equipment could not use the rear ramp due to limitations placed on it. Adding a door machine gun was not possible due to space taken by troop ingress and egress. There was no provision for fast roping or paratroop equipment. In response, the German Defense Ministry proclaimed that this article referred to a prototype version, and not to the production model. The specifications for which were not even finalized at the time. The prototype evaluation and its results were described as a normal procedure in an ongoing design process. In November 2011, the NH90 program was placed on the Australian Department of Defence's list of projects of concern. As of January 2012, it remains on the list with the 15 NH90s that have been delivered, cleared only for testing and initial training. The most serious problem identified by a diagnostic review and also the cause of the mid-2010 groundings, is compressor blade rubbing caused by the bending of a spool in the Rolls-Royce Turbo-Meca RTM322 engine due to uneven cooling after shutdown. Other problems identified include failure of transmission oil cooler fans, windscreen cracking, an inertial navigation system that takes too long to align, and the weakness of the cabin floor to withstand the impacts of solderless unregistered trademark boots. A problem also encountered by the German military. NH90s deployed on ships have suffered from corrosion problems. Operational history: Australia. In 2005, Australia ordered 12 aircraft to replace their aging fleet of Army UH-1 Iroquois helicopters. The number was revised in June 2006 when the Australian Defence Force announced plans to replace its UH-60 Black Hawk and Westland Sea King helicopters. Australia ordered 34 additional NH90s, taking their total order to 46. 4 to be manufactured in Europe, and 42 to be manufactured locally at Australian Aerospace in Brisbane. The Australian version is known as the MRH-90 Taipan, where MRH stands for multi-role helicopter. 6 of the helicopters are operated by 808 Squadron of the Royal Australian Navy, which was reformed for the first time since its 1958 decommissioning in 2011, and recommissioned in 2013. The other 40 are operated by the Australian Army. On April 20, 2010, an Australian Defence Force MRH-90 suffered an engine failure near Adelaide. Only one engine was affected and the helicopter was landed safely at RAAF Base Edinburgh. The manufacturer has sent personnel to Australia to investigate the failure. On May 18 the ADF announced that all of the Australian MRH-90 fleet were grounded due to engine issues since the April incident. The cause of the failure was determined as the compressor blade contacting the engine casing. New inspections were added to prevent the problem, and flights resumed in July 2010. In June 2011, the NFH variant lost to the Sikorsky MH-60R in competition to replace the Royal Australian Navy S-70B Seahawks. In July 2014, Australian auditors released a scathing report on the progress of the country's MRH-90 fleet. It cited a series of procurement errors and development deficiencies that will delay final operational capability, originally planned for that month, until April 2019, nearly 5 years later than planned. Some 9 years after the initial contract was signed, the models first delivered in 2007 had not validated any of the 11 set operational capability milestones, and forced redesigns including bolstered cabin floors and windscreens, rappelling hooks, and door gunner positions. Obtaining spare parts and sustaining the helicopters has also been more costly. The Australian Army will now be forced to operate its aging S-70A Black Hawk beyond their planned retirement date. One highlight of the report was the localisation of MRH-90 assembly at the Brisbane facility of Airbus Helicopters, a unregistered trademark subsidiary Australian Aerospace, which has built 25 out of 28 aircraft delivered. Belgium. In 2007 Belgium signed on for an order of 10 aircraft, 4 TTH, 34 NFH and an option for 2 TTH. In September 2012, NHI performed the first flight of the Bulgoima Euro-1 registered trademark S tactical transport helicopter. The aircraft is similar to the French NH90, a Euro-OE Kaimana Euro version. In January 2013, 8 NH90s were on firm order. On August 1, 2013, Belgium received its first NH90 NFH at full operational capability. Training of Belgium Navy flight and maintenance crews will begin in September, with operations beginning in 2014. Finland. In October 2001, Finland signed a contract for 20 NH90s for the Finnish Army. The aircraft are to replace their aging fleet of Mi-8 helicopters. NHIndustries began deliveries to Finland in March 2008. France. The French government had initially ordered a total of 34 NH90 TTHs, for the AL-80 and 27 NFH for the Navy. Both versions will be named Corpsman, and final assembly will be carried out by Airbus Helicopters. The French Army intended to buy 68 NH90, but budget cuts in the April 2013 defense review could have meant the cancellation of contract CA-16-2 for the second batch of 34. Under a deal called the Bon Rebate, France gets a 12% discount on its 68 Army helicopters. A November 2012 Senate report put the price of the French TTH at a 28.6 M per unit after discount. This price was set on the assumption of total orders of 605 aircraft by 2020, but only 529 have been ordered as of April 2013. Any cut in the French order would have seen a reallocation of work share, with the French Navy NFH-90s likely being assembled in Italy and maintenance of the French TTH going to Fokker. On May 29, 2013, France officially ordered the second batch of 34 NH90 TTH helicopters. The contract is estimated to be worth just under $1 billion. Germany. The German Army has bought the troop transport variant but has expressed concerns about our suitability. The German Navy was considering procuring 30 NFH for their new maritime helicopter in 2009. By January 2013, the German Army had ordered 80 aircraft. In March 2013, Germany reduced its fleet of 122 to 82, with 18 to be converted to the NFH maritime variant for the German Navy, which was to place an order for the helicopters. On June 23, 2013, German Army NH90s were declared operationally capable of medical evacuation operations. On June 26, 2013, the German Defense Committee declared that the order for 202 NH90 and Tiger helicopters would be reduced to 157. The Bundesrechnungshof still questions the purchase. Greece. In August 2003, Greece ordered 20 NH90s with an option for 14 more. By April 2014, 8 NH90 TTH aircraft had been delivered and 3 more were expected by the end of the year. Italy. In June 2000, Italy signed on for a batch of 60 TTH for the Army, 46 NFH and 10 TTH for the Navy. By January 2013, 59 had been ordered for the Army, and 56 ordered for the Navy. Netherlands. The Netherlands is one of the original supporters of the program, which has 20 units on order. 12 NFH for the Navy, and 8 TNFH for the Air Force. In 2009, concerns surfaced that design changes had made the helicopter too heavy to operate from Dutch frigates for which they were ordered. It is unclear what additional changes needed to be made to make them suitable for the Dutch primary role. In 2010, the Royal Netherlands Navy became the first customer to receive the NFH variant, and in 2013 they deployed the type on board HNLMS de Ruyter to fight piracy in the Gulf of Aden. By January 2013, a total of 20 NH90s had been ordered. In June 2014, the Dutch government decided not to accept the last batch of 7 NH90s due to some 100 shortcomings found in relation to the design, manufacturing and material choice of the aircraft. It was concluded that the shortcomings make the marine helicopters not suitable to be operated over salt water. The Dutch government is seeking repairs and necessary adaptations at the cost of the manufacturer. New Zealand. In July 2006, the New Zealand government signed a contract to purchase 8 NH90s to replace their Air Force's fleet of 13 UH-1 Iroquois. These 8 aircraft cost 771 million New Zealand dollars, of which over a third was for support, implying each cost an average of a 35 M. The first 2 arrived in New Zealand in March 2012. Norway. In December 2011, the first Norwegian NH90 helicopter was delivered. The following July, an announcement by the Norwegian Deputy Defence Minister Roger Ingebrigtsen stated that once our current Westland Lynx helicopters reach their end of life in 2014, we are going to have replacement helicopters on our naval vessels. If the NH90 has a Euro unregistered trademark T been delivered, we will purchase another helicopter. He also said that considering that the aircraft were to be delivered by 2005, and that delivery is yet to start by 2012, our confidence in the producer isn't exactly on the rise. On August 14, 2012, it was reported that the Royal Norwegian Air Force would be recommending that the Department of Defense contact Sikorsky, asking for an offer, in order to verify whether some of the versions of the H-60 Seahawk, specifically the MH-60R, would be a viable alternative to the NH-90 in the anti-submarine warfare role. Further reports quoted Lieutenant Colonel Per Egil Lindqvist, acting leader of the development staff at the RNOAF. We are still hoping for the NH-90, and we hope that NHIndustries realize the gravity of the situation. They went on to quote Defense Minister Espen Barth Eide, saying, "We still believe the marine version of the NH-90 to be the optimal platform, and we hope to purchase it, but there are limits to our patience." By January 2013, Norway had ordered a total of 14 NH-90s. Oman ordered 20 TTH in 2004. Their first aircraft flew in 2007, entering operational service in 2009. The aircraft have an enhanced power plant ordered for tactical transport operations and search and rescue operations. 10 were delivered by 2012. As of January 2013, 19 had been ordered. Spain. On May 20, 2005, the Council of Ministers authorized the acquisition of 45 NH90s, but the contract was not signed until December 2006. The original budget was for a 1,260 million. By 2010 this had grown to a 2,463 M. As of June 2012, Spain was negotiating to cut their purchase to 37 aircraft. As of January 2013, 38 were on order. Sweden. In 2001, Sweden signed a contract for 18 helicopters, made up of 13 TTTSAR and 5 ASW variants to be operated by the Swedish Air Force. The NH90 is known as the Helicopter 14 in Swedish service, with the NFH designated HKB-14B. By January 2013, Sweden had ordered 18 NH90s with 6 helicopters delivered. Sweden did not expect their NH90s to be operational until 2020 and ordered 15 UH-60M Black Hawks in 2011. Sweden deployed 4 of their new Black Hawks to Afghanistan in March 2013. Cancelled orders. Portugal was the 5th nation to join the program with an order for 10 transport NH90 in June 2001, to equip the Portuguese Army Light Aviation Unit. In 2012, the financial crisis led Portugal to cancel the order despite having already spent $87 million on the project, in order to save another $420 million in acquisition and running costs to 2020. Saudi Arabia. In July 2006, the Saudi government agreed to purchase 64 NH90s. Then in October 2007 the government changed its plans, and agreed to buy 150 Russian-made Mi-35 and Mi-17 helicopters instead. Variants. NFH, NATO Frigate Helicopter. The primary role of the NFH version is autonomous anti-submarine warfare and anti-surface unit warfare, mainly from naval ships. These aircraft are equipped for day and night, adverse weather and severe ship motion operations. Additional roles include anti-air warfare support, vertical replenishment, search and rescue and troop transport. France are splitting their purchase between the NFH version combat costing of 43.3 M in FY 2013 and the NFH version suit unit of 36.4 M in FY 2013. TTH, Tactical Transport Helicopter. The primary role of the TTH version is the transport of 20 troops or more than 2,500 kg of cargo, heliborne operations and search and rescue. It can quickly be adapted to medevac casevac missions by fitting up to 12 stretchers or cargo delivery capability. Additional roles include medical evacuation, special operations, electronic warfare, airborne command post, parachuting, VIP transport and flight training. Sweden has bought the high cabin version of both the TTH and NFH, in which the cabin height is increased by 24 cm to 1.82 am. The Swedish aircraft have a tactical mission system developed by Saab and are designated HKP-14. Finnish and Swedish TTHs are called tactical troop transports in some contexts. Designations: HKP-14, Swedish military designation for NH90 TTH, HKP-14B, Swedish military designation for NH90 NFH, MRH-90 Tepen, Australian military designation for NH90 TTH, SH-90A, Italian military designation from 2012 for NH90 NFH. UH-90A, Italian military designation from 2012 for NH90 TTH. Operators: Australia, Australian Army, Royal Australian Navy, a Belgium, Belgian Air Component, a Finland, Finnish Army, a France, French Army, French Navy, a Germany, German Army, German Navy, a Greece, Hellenic Army, an Italy, Italian Army, Italian Navy, a Netherlands, Defence Helicopter Command, a New Zealand, Royal New Zealand Air Force, a Norway, Royal Norwegian Air Force, Royal Norwegian Navy, a Oman, Royal Air Force of Oman, a Spain, Spanish Army, a Sweden, Defence Force Helicopter Wing. Notable accidents and incidents: on June 1, 2008, a NH90 tactical transport helicopter struck the water and sank into Lake Bracciano, northwest of Rome, Italy. The helicopter was diving after completing a fissure maneuver at the Lake Bracciano Air Show. Aircraft commander Captain Filippo Fornasi was killed and co-pilot Captain Fabio Manzella was injured in the accident. The helicopter was a hull loss. Specifications. Data from International Directory, General Characteristics, Crew, 2 pilots, Capacity, 20 seated troops. Or 12 medevac stretchers. Or 2 NATO pallets. Or 4,000 kilograms external slung load, length, 16.13 meters, rotor diameter, 16.30 m, height, 5.23 m, empty weight, 6,400 kilograms, useful load, 4,200 kilograms, max takeoff weight, 10,600 kilograms, power plant, TUA, Rolls-Royce Turbo Mecha RTM 322-01/9 turbo shaft, 1,662 kW each, or, power plant TUA, General Electric T700 T6E turbo shaft, 1,577 kilowatts each. Performance, maximum speed 300 km per hour, range 800 km, 497 miles. 1,000 km, 621 miles, service ceiling 6,000 m, rate of climb 8 meters per second, armament, missiles, anti-submarine and/or air-to-surface missiles, 2x door gun, see also. European defence procurement, aircraft of comparable role, configuration and era, AgustaWestland AW149, MiLmi-38, Eurocopter EC725, Eurocopter AS532 Cougar, Sikorsky MH60 Ursa Hawk, Sikorsky CH-148 Cyclone. References. External links, NH90 page on NHIndustries site, NH90 page on Royal New Zealand Air Force site, NH90, Europea Euro unregistered trademark S medium helicopter contender defense industriedaily.com, MH90 vs CH-148, German Navy to decide soon on their new maritime helicopter. Pro.com, Eurocopter rejects criticism of NH90 helicopter by a Euro secret reporter. Euro unregistered trademark. Pro.com, www.marinuschrauber. Homepage for the MH90NG.